It feels like it's been forever since I played some kind of colony management game. And then I think about it and realize it wasn't that long ago that I played Timberborn. But then I was browsing Steam, and I was looking through all the different colony management games that I have and that are available, and I saw Banished inspired in the description of Settlement Survival. And then I remembered a bunch of comments on a video recently where I talked about playing Banished, and a bunch of people said I should check out Settlement Survival. So here we are. We're going to be jumping into some Settlement Survival. We're going to be seeing what the game's about. I have done the tutorials, and I have played about half an hour of a sandbox save. But today, we're going to be starting a new game. We're going to be playing in standard mode. I'm going to have to come up with a town name. A map seed can be randomized a little bit. We'll go for this. The map size is going to be large. I'm going to keep the difficulty on easy. And I'm going to say no disasters, because I do want to learn this game at my own pace and have some fun with it. So let's see what exactly we can do once I come up with a town name. So I settled on Yonkers for a town name, and now we need to pick where we're going to be establishing ourselves. And we have this beautiful river running down the middle of the map here. It splits off in two right here, and this, I think, is exactly where I want to start. Right there, right in the middle of the fork in the river. And then we have everybody. We have everybody running around doing their thing. They're going into a marketplace here. The marketplace is where vendors will take all sorts of resources from warehouses, which will then benefit citizens a lot in living and production. We can only build houses within this area surrounding the marketplace, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to pause the game while I'm sort of talking about what we have here. So next to the marketplace, we have a builder's cabin, which can assign builders, which can guarantee the construction of buildings and roads during the construction of the town. So we have 3 people working at the builder's cabin. We can have up to 6 if we really wanted. So for example, I could click this little X right here and assign another worker. So we have Jesse, but I don't really want to do that. We're only going to have 3 builders. We're going to have Andrew, Arnold, and Cassandra for the time being. That's fine. That's about all we need. We have a durable storage yard here, which has some stone in it right now. And that's basically a stockpile. That's the default stockpile that we get. And then down at the bottom of the screen, we have all of the things we can do. We can build houses. We can get fields. We can start, getting gatherers' huts and hunters' huts and foresters' huts and all that good stuff as well. But what I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to go into commands, and I'm going to say that I want to gather everything. Well, not absolutely everything, but everything in sort of the immediate area surrounding the marketplace here. So I'm going to go ahead and gather about all of that, and I'm going to gather about all of, let's say, that as well, just so we have a really good amount of resources right at the start. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and get some dirt roads in here. I'm going to put one right down here between the marketplace, the builder's hut, and the stockpile. I can't get one in that space, and that's okay. And then essentially, what I'll do is go ahead and just outline this entire little square here so that my citizens, my settlers, whatever they are, can run around a little bit easier. And we can go ahead and speed the game up, and we should see everybody heading out and sort of doing their thing. Now, the reason I'm clearing all this terrain is just so I can get a better idea of what I want to build and where I want to build it. And that's pretty much what's going to be next, is building some things. So we currently have, up here at the top, you can see 20 adults, 0 students, and 10 kids. Now, every house can house a single 4-person family, or we could get an apartment, which can accommodate up to 24 people. It's kind of tempting to go for the apartment. Building 2 of these would be a way to deal with the population that we have right now, but if it's overcrowded, it's going to reduce the desire to procreate. So, the citizens aren't going to be too interested in, doing the do if they're living in an apartment, which You know, honestly, that's quite respectful of their neighbors, if you really think about it. So, or, you know, don't think too much about it. It's kind of weird, but you get my point. I don't think I'm going to build an apartment. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build some houses, and I'm going to build them. I'm thinking a little bit away from the marketplace. So I'm going to go up here, and about as far as I can go is there. So we'll go about here. We'll build a house, and much like Banished, you can actually go ahead and change the style of the houses. So if I press F, we can change the style. I'm kind of liking, I kind of like this one right here. So we'll do that. And if I press F 3 times, we get the same one. So we'll do 2. So that's 8 people, 2 families right there. And then opposite, we can go ahead and do another one and another one right about there. So that's now, what is that, 16 people? And essentially, we'll go ahead and do another 4. What style of house have I gone for here? Let's have a little look. It's that one. So that's right there should be enough housing for everybody. And then we can go ahead, we can bring a road straight up through there, and I'll push the road out this way because we might do some gathering stuff out there, but that should be enough housing for everybody, and that should keep everybody relatively happy. Now, this stockpile is going to fill up super quickly, so we are going to need more storage. So if we go in here, we can get a storage yard, and we can do things like trading as well. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this game. We'll get to it eventually, but for right now, I just want to get some storage. So we'll do a little 8 by, I guess, 5 storage yard right about there. We'll do a little 4 by 5 on the other side, and I'm going to put some roads going around that as well. And actually, looking at that, it might make more sense to get rid of these guys, which I need to remember how to do. Let's see, remove roads, demolish the storage yards, please. So if they wouldn't mind getting rid of both of those, that'd be kind of great. Because then what I can do is just put one big storage yard in there. So once the resources are gone, which they are, I think I need to get rid of that road as well. So remove you, back into storage, and that's too large. So 13 by 5 is going to let me do 2 6 by 5 storage yards like that. And I guess I can just do a dirt road down between them. So that's fine. It means people can get up this way kind of easily, and we actually have some houses going already, which is great news. So while that's going on, we are going to need to start looking into food production. And there's a couple of ways we can do that. So standard fields are just fixed size fields. They're 8 by 8. I can just measure out fields if I really want to. Orchards are the same thing. Pastures, same thing. And then fishing docks can be placed right on the water. That's something we'll do eventually, but right off the bat, I think we want to do some fields. So I think what we could probably do is go ahead and maybe get a couple of standard fields, say there and there, and we'll go for the backside of these houses as well. And that way we have people that are living really close to the fields who can work in the fields and hopefully get us some food. And we'll also go ahead and just surround these things with some paths for ease of access. The areas will get cleared and we can start growing some things in those spaces. I also totally forgot that we actually have tasks up here as well. So build one house has been done. So that's going to give me 400 silver coins. We've built some standard fields. That's going to give me 700 coins. And we can close these things as well, which isn't really something we need to do, but it gives me some coins as well. Now, build a big well. That's going to give us some water. I'll do that in just a second once I go ahead and assign these guys some work. So let's grow some broccoli. Let's grow some winter squash. Let's grow some pumpkins. And we can also go ahead and grow some agave. Which is good because we can actually use that for brewing a little bit later on. So everybody can go ahead and work in those fields, hopefully sooner than later. I'm not actually 100% sure if it's the right time of year. Oh, it is. There we go. So we got some pumpkins going in. We've got some squash. We got some broccoli, and we got hopefully some agave going in as well. So that's great. That's going to be some food. That should keep everybody happy. But for now, let's build a big well, which is going to be in resources and right here. This is essentially going to produce water. It's also going to put out fires. So what I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll put a big well, I want to say right down here, and I want to say right up here. I think 2 of them would be a really good idea at both ends of the town that we have right now. And I'm also kind of hoping that, did I do the math wrong here? So 4 and 4 is 8, 16. There should be room for 32 people to live here. Although I guess if it's separate families, then there isn't. I might have forgot to consider the fact that all the people might not be in evenly split families, so we might actually need more houses. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go ahead. Let's go and say gather all. Let's clear out this space here. In fact, we don't need to gather everything. We can just build more houses. So let's do house. And oh, that's out of the right. Okay. So that's too far out there. I guess we could build some down at this end of town. I don't think that would hurt. So let's figure out what we can do. If I go house and I go for a different style, we'll go for maybe this one. We'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and I think 4. I think we can get away with 4. We can do a little something else down there as well. So let's go dirt road and get this guy going down through the middle of all of those. Some citizens are thirsty. They need a well or reservoir to solve the problem. Big wells in resources, reservoirs here too, but it's in technology. Okay. So this is probably a good time to talk about the fact that you can research in this game. There is a full tech tree in whatever this game's called, Settlement Survival. There's a full tech tree in here. So you can go ahead and get something like soap, which is going to unlock the soap workshop, which can produce soap and then increase health, which is kind of cool, right? So you can increase health through cleanliness. And if you unlock that, it leads to the bathhouse, which is going to keep their body clean by enduring a body scrub at the bathhouse, thus increasing their health. From there, you can eventually get a hospital. You can eventually get a pharmacy. A police station can lead to a church upgrade, which can lead to a theater and lead to entertainment. There's a lot here. There's a lot of stuff to look into. And it's kind of exciting because I've got no idea how to get all of this or how to use all of this, but I'm excited to learn. So what I want to do right off the bat is look into some things. So a police station. When criminals appear in the town, sheriffs can quickly pin down suspects to avoid more casualties. That seems like a good idea. So I can go ahead and get the police station because we have technology points. Now, technology points essentially can activate an effect, such as unlocking the police station or getting church upgrades or something like a tent, which is not restricted by the market scope, but cannot be upgraded. It's a rough house for a 3-person family. Not a bad idea. I don't know that we need it right now. It'd be nice, and I suppose it does lead into luxury houses, so we'll get it just so we can, get it later on. Now, clean water, probably not a bad idea, but I think we need mining and sand mining first. So that would be this guy. So unlock the sand pit, which means we can dredge or harvest sand or clay, which is the raw materials of bricks, glass, and cutlery. Not a bad idea. I think we'll go ahead and get that. Refined fuel is going to unlock the fuel factory, which can process timber or coal into refined fuel for use in the forge, smelter, kiln, factory, and pottery workshop. There's a lot going on here. I realize I'm getting a bit wordy. I'm not really explaining what, fuel is for. Fuel is what's going to keep people warm, essentially. There is so much. There is so much to figure out, unlock, work out, and do in this game, and I absolutely love it. So we'll get some soap. We could probably look into a bathhouse as well, but we're going to need linen for that, which is going to be made from flax at a textile mill. Oh boy. Let's not go too crazy on spending all of these points. There is one thing I'm looking for, though, which is the Research Institute, because it's going to generate a large amount of tech experience, which I guess, leads into more technology points. We can use paper to increase the output. It can be upgraded into a research academy after unlocking the corresponding technology. So we'll go ahead and activate that as well, leaving us 1 technology point. And I guess what we could do is maybe do some medical research, or actually, maybe clean water would be a good idea. I think clean water would be a pretty good idea. So if we look down at the bottom here, what we can see is there's a little dot next to a bunch of these categories. And then we have, for example, tents, which are, a new thing we can build anywhere. In here, we have the reservoir, which can produce a large amount of water. So this guy would have to be placed, on the water. And then we have the sand pit, which has to be placed on the water as well. We have the soap workshop, which can be placed anywhere. And we have the police station, which has a radius, which is fair enough. That's all right. We can place that somewhere. And the research institute, which we can place somewhere as well. In fact, would it fit down here? No. Would a police station fit down here? It absolutely would. But it's not really going to cover the other side of town, so we might need 2 of them. I don't think we need it right now, though. So we'll just let things run, and we'll start following these tasks that we have in the top right. So we need to build a forester hut. So if we go into resources and we go to forester hut, this thing is going to plant saplings and periodically chop down mature trees within its range. So essentially, this is how we can get a sort of regular supply of wood coming in. So what I think I'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll build a forester hut out here. I think that's probably a pretty good spot for it. And that's going to give us a relatively regular supply of wood for the town, especially once it actually starts chopping things down. So we'll get a road going out there, and that'll be great. We can do similar with things like the gatherer's hut. So gatherers will gather wild vegetables, agave, and herbs within the range. Wild vegetables will generally grow near mature trees. So what you actually want to avoid with this guy is building it next to a forester, because obviously the forester is going to chop down mature trees. So what we can do is build this guy sort of down here a little bit. And that way, we're going to have it in a decent sized forest where it can go and gather, all sorts of different things. So we'll extend that road right down there. We'll go back into resources, and we have hunters. Now, hunters will hunt the nearest animals for meat and leather. And if we have a look, there are some geese, I think, right there. I'm not really too worried about that, but it does appear to be the only animal nearby. So what I'll do for the hunters is, I guess, just place them out here. I don't think it matters. I mean, there's going to take up a little bit of space from the, well, actually, yeah, I don't know if I want them taking up that space. What about here? We could do the hunters right in the middle of town. I guess that's not the end of the world. They might go out and get, whatever animal they're looking for. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens there. Now, we've got all that under construction. This thing is done. So foresters are go. The gatherer's hut is going to be done in good time. So I guess let's look at processing, because we are going to need some other things. For example, a chopping house can process timber or dried animal dung into domestic fuel. And this is something that we actually need, because if I pause and we have a little look in the bottom left, we can see year 1, July, the reserve of fuel is low. So let's get this thing so that we can go ahead and get some fuel in here. And I'm thinking it could probably just live right about there. Is probably a bit of a fair spot. We could put it on the other side of town as well, which I guess is also a fair spot, so we'll do that. And then the smithy is where we can process stone, timber, or iron into tools, which again, kind of important because, tools are what's going to let everyone do their thing. It's very similar to Banished in the sense that tools are going to make people faster at their various jobs. So we'll put this right in the middle of town as well. And we're probably going to start getting low on resources. Looking here, we actually don't have a lot of iron left. So, in fact, I don't need to look there. I can look up at the top left and see, for example, raw materials, or not. Construction materials? Is it construction materials? Stone, lantern, brick, steel, yada, yada, yada. It'll be in there somewhere. I'm not sure why. Hold on. Medicine, beverages, raw materials. Is it supposed to be in here? Am I blind? Construction material. Stone, lantern, cut stone, jade, obsidian, glass, steel. Do we just... What's here? What is it? Iron ore. Oh, it's in here. Ore, right. Yeah, we don't have much iron. That's fine, because this is all iron here. So if I say gather rocks, and I cover that entire space, we should have everybody heading up there to gather all of that iron, and it should go up a little bit. Now, we've built the gatherer's hut, so let's confirm that. We got a hunter's hut. Let's confirm that. Chopping house is underway, so that's going to be great. And there's all of the iron going into storage right there as well. So building things should be no problem. Now, something I do want to look at is the fact that we have a couple of people around here, such as Lily right here, who is currently, I think, yeah, fractured foot, slow movement speed. We can actually go to her perspective, by the way. Well, we can't do it right now because she's in a building, but yeah, she's not doing too good. So we're gonna need to look after her. We're going to need some services, such as a clinic, which can cure the sick efficiently and also increase their health. It can be upgraded into a hospital after unlocking that technology. So essentially, we're going to need a clinic. And this thing actually has a pretty good radius on it. It'd be nice if I could get it really good and central, but I think right there is going to be the best I can do. So go ahead and build a clinic right there. We've got the chopping house. We've got 7 houses. We need a repair shop, which we'll do soon enough. And looking here, what are you doing? So this is the chopping house. I need you to turn, I guess, timber into fuel. And we're going to get another worker in there as well, so it's a bit faster. And then the smithy, I guess, could probably go ahead and turn iron into iron tools. I mean, stone tools are not terrible. They're not very durable, though. So let's go with the iron tools, and let's get a second person working in there as well. So that way we can start getting some tools, we can start getting some fuel, because it is, what is it, December of year 1? It's currently about to be winter. So having people freezing because of low fuel, well, that's bad. That's very, very bad. So hopefully we can do something about that. The good news is the 2 people with the injuries are going into the clinic, so they're going to be fine. And what else are we building right now? So this thing's going. The good old gatherer's hut is doing its thing. We've got this guy working out here as well. And we can see some of the saplings getting planted, which is great news. And you guys are not really doing anything right now. So isn't there a thing in... Isn't it Banished, I guess, that does the whole thing where farmers become laborers during winter? It'd be kind of nice if this did that as well. They might be laborers. There's just not much for, them to do. Regardless, the fuel reserves right now are terrible. So you guys kind of need to be stepping up a little bit. Oh, we have actually got some fuel. And I realized putting this thing opposite of a stockpile was probably a pretty good move. That should make it easy for them to both get the wood that they need and also dump the fuel into a stockpile. So hopefully the issues with low fuel start going away. And looking at it, actually, they probably will, because we've only got 2 houses without fuel. Now, speaking of houses, probably not a terrible idea to get a few more, because I'm noticing we've got, 8 babies right now. So we're gonna, at some point, need more houses. We'll go ahead and get those working, or get those getting built, and we'll start working on a repair shop. So the repair shop is services, I think? Yeah. So repair shops can assign repairmen to ensure that town buildings will not be damaged. Essentially, they keep the town working. So we'll go ahead and put this thing here. And that's going to give us a well for this side of town, a well for that side of town. It gives us the repair thing right in the middle. We're building a proper little town center here. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's great. We've also got most of the roads built as well. And to be completely honest, the roads could probably be upgraded at some point. We got plenty of stone around here that we could use for road upgrades, but we'll leave it be for now. Although I am thinking it might not be a terrible idea to get some fishing docks, because thinking about it, output will increase if there's a fishing point. So if I put this thing like here, that seems like it would have pretty good output. And then we would have, fish coming in all year round. We might need to do that. We really might need to do that. Now, build one church. So a church can raise citizens' happiness, which would probably not be a bad idea. Their general, what is this, city stress? Is that 23%? They're stressed right now. Their happiness, so population -2, happiness +8, health +15, housing +2, diet, technology, okay, so they're not thrilled, but a fertility rate of 77% is not terrible. So I'll take it. Let's see. So what is a church made out of? A bunch of stone, a bunch of wood, and a bunch of iron. Okay. This thing needs to go relatively central. So I'm kind of looking at over here and thinking over here is a pretty good spot for it. Although, yeah, I think maybe here would be a good spot for the church. Or like here. Actually, here's not bad. So let's do that for the church right there and see what we can get around it later on. So we'll just do a little bit of road in front of it. It is probably, yeah, it is slightly encroaching on the forester's hut, but we'll not worry too much about it because I don't think it's going to be too bad. And that seems like a good set of things. You know, you got a church, you got a hunter's hut, and you got a clinic, all in the same little corner. That seems like that seems like a good setup. I also have no idea what silver coins are actually for. I would imagine trading. So I would imagine doing these tasks is how I can get some good money for trading later on. Which I guess that's fair enough. I guess that works out. Also, what do I build bridges out of? Oh, it's just wood and stone. Okay. So essentially, I could just build like a bridge over here, right? So I could do like this. That might not be a terrible idea. Because this area of, like, this whole area is going to fill up eventually. So if I go in like a straight line here, hold on, let me build a road out here. So something like that, and then bridge, I guess, 1, 2, that's not right. Okay, so bridge, 1, 2, across, like that. That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. That'll let people, you know, get across the river and get all of the wood and, you know, stone and iron out here. Yeah, I like that. I think that's fine. We can start moving some stuff out that way as well at some point. But for now, you know, we'll just get the bridges built, get the church built, which is done. So another 400 coins. We've already got a clinic, a distillery. Liquor can raise citizens' happiness. Well, I guess that is why we're growing the agave. So let's go to processing. Let's get a distillery. And I mean, I guess we build it up here. In fact, I wonder if I was to build, so let me build it here. Yeah, let me build it right here. And then next to it, let me build a storage yard. Can I say that this thing only has, oh, this is good. Okay. So we're going to turn everything off. We're going to go to raw materials, or maybe not. What are we going for? Tools, alcohol and snacks, clothing, fuel, traded goods, food. So what I was wanting to do was specify that it would only have agave in here, but I guess what we could do instead is just allow alcohol. So everything that this distillery dumps out goes into that storage yard. That seems like a decent little way to do things. I don't mind that at all. So that's kind of what we're going to do. That'll keep them happy. And that's good. We want to keep them happy. So I guess let's build a distillery and get them absolutely boozed up and see just how happy they end up being.